Perfection of wisdom, Mother of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and all beings, nourishing, holding, and healing all, Great Mother Earth, precious jewel of the cosmos, to you we bow down in gratitude. We take refuge in the earth as our teacher, the one who shows us the way in this life. We take refuge in the earth as an expression of the Dharma, the teachings of interbeing, understanding, and love. We take refuge in the earth as an embodiment of the Sangha, the vast, interdependent community of life in balance and harmony. Living within the web of life on earth, we dedicate ourselves to embodying awakened awareness on the path of healing in service to all beings. We dedicate our lives to realizing our oneness with Gaia. The four thoughts that turn the mind to the Dharma. This precious human form is difficult to obtain and embodies opportunities and resources. Give us the energy to realize its potential. It is uncertain when death and impermanence will strike. Give us the energy to live a life of no regret. The laws of the way things are work internally. Give us the energy to live without shame. Suffering is present in all 6 realms. Give us the energy not to take birth in these states. The reliable and definite refuges are the 3 jewels. Give us the energy to trust them. The 6 kinds of beings are as kind as our parents. Give us the energy for loving kindness and compassion. In the end, our mind is nothing but being as truth. Give us the energy to attain a stable understanding.
So now I will read the Second Mindfulness Training, which is true happiness or generosity. Aware of the suffering caused by exploitation, social injustice, stealing, oppression, I am committed to practicing generosity in my thinking, speaking, and acting. I am determined not to steal and not to possess anything that should belong to others. And I will share my time, energy, and material resources with those who are in need. I will practice looking deeply to see that the happiness and suffering of others is not separate from my own happiness and suffering. That true happiness is not possible without understanding and compassion. And the running after wealth, fame, power, and sensual pleasures can bring much suffering and despair. I'm aware that happiness depends on my mental attitude and not on external conditions, and that I can live happily in the present moment simply by remembering that I already have more than enough conditions to be happy. I am committed to practicing right livelihood so that I can help reduce the suffering of living beings on Earth and stop contributing to climate change. So Thich Nhat Hanh began the chapter on the Second Mindfulness Training in For a Future to Be Possible with a quote by Kate Triona Reed. And the quote offers an interesting perspective. So I wanted to read the first part of it out loud. It says, there is a wonderful aspect to the mindfulness trainings. They are actually impossible to keep. To refrain from harming others, what a profound practice. We receive the 5 mindfulness trainings knowing that by doing so, we are opening ourselves to our own failure. We cannot fix the world. We cannot even fix our own lives. By accepting failure, we express our willingness to begin again, time after time. By recognizing failure, we change, renew, adapt, listen, and grow. It is only by practicing without expectation of success that we can ever truly open to the world, to suffering, and to joy. And I found that by using this quote, Thich Nhat Hanh was actually releasing us from perfectionism and inviting us to progress along a more realistic path. And in the first mindfulness training, we found compassion, or karuna, which is the intention or capacity to relieve the suffering of another human being. And at the heart of this second mindfulness training, we find loving kindness, or maitri, the intention and capacity to bring joy and happiness to another living being. And so he's pointing out that exploitation, social injustice, and stealing come in many forms. And it's woven through our societies, and it's really hard not to participate in some way, somewhere along the line. Oppression is one of the forms of stealing that causes great suffering across the world. The moment we vow to cultivate loving kindness is born in us. And then we can make every effort to stop exploitation and injustice. But even with maitri as a source of energy within us, we need to look deeply in order to find the ways we can express it. Thich Nhat Hanh again emphasizes that to promote the well-being of all, we have to come together as a community to examine our situation and exercise our intelligence together in order to discover appropriate ways to express our maitri in the midst of very real problems. He points out that there are many simple things that we can do to help people, but because we cannot free ourselves from our habitual ways of living our daily life, and the things we prioritize and focus on, we often don't do anything at all. Thich Nhat Hanh spoke of how we use our perception of time and the the things we think are worthy of our time to limit our ability to give. He speaks about how time should be used not just for making money, but time should also be used for being fully present with each other. Being fully present with someone who is dying or someone who is suffering, even for just like 5 minutes, can be an important gift. Our time can be given to produce the gift of the dharma and the gift of non-fear. And I'll talk a little bit more about this gift of the dharma. We need to come together as a community and look deeply to find ways to free ourselves from these habitual ways of being so that we can practice the second mindfulness training. So rather than participating in stealing, exploitation, and oppression, we are guided to practice generosity. And as we look for and learn ways to express generosity, generosity increases in the amount that it flows through our lives. And he pointed out that in Buddhism, there are 3 kinds of giving. The first is the gift of material resources, so giving people something that they need. The second is the gift of helping people rely on themselves by offering them the technology and knowledge to stand on their own 2 feet. And the third is the gift of non-fear, provided by the Dharma. Every one of us harbors fears and insecurity about the future, whether it's if we're afraid of not having enough time, or being alone, or losing loved ones, or our means of making a living, fear of sickness, fear of death. And to help ourselves and others not be destroyed by our fears, we practice the third kind of gift giving. And Thich Nhat Hanh looks to the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara and the Heart Sutra for knowledge of how to transform fear and ride the waves of birth and death smiling. The Heart Sutra teaches there is no production and no destruction, no being, no non-being, no increasing and no decreasing. Hearing this teaching helps us look deeply into the nature of reality and see that even birth and death, being and non-being, coming and going, increasing and decreasing, are all ideas that we ascribe to reality, while reality actually transcends all concepts. So we are able to transcend fear when we realize the interbeing nature of all things, and that even birth and death are just concepts. And then I found it very interesting. I just wanted to add this piece for our benefit of considering taking formal commitment. Thich Nhat Hanh pointed out in this chapter that I was taking from that that when we practice any one of the mindfulness trainings deeply, we are practicing all 5. That they're so interwoven that each one has much to do with the others. And he shared that some people formally receive just 1 or 2 of the mindfulness trainings. And he thought that that was just really fine. because he knew that practicing one or two deeply meant that all five would be observed. And so I just wanted to offer that as possibility in your considerations. Okay. So Rasul, we're ready for the Metta Healing.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I spaced for a moment. I was about to go into meditation now. Let's begin by taking a moment to invite a state of equanimity. And let us begin by absorbing the following prayer while focusing on ourselves. May I be at ease in my body, feeling the ground beneath me. May I be attentive and gentle toward my own discomfort and suffering. May I experience joy and well-being. May I receive myself with compassion and understanding. May I move towards others freely and with openness. Now let us bring into our awareness all who are here today, our broader Sangha, our friends and our family members. May you be at ease in your body, feeling the ground beneath you. May you be attentive and gentle toward your own discomfort and suffering. May you experience joy and well-being. May you receive yourself with compassion and understanding. May you move towards others freely and with openness. Now let us bring forward those who we avert our eyes from, whether on the streets or in the news, the people we obsess over, anyone we might hold an aversion towards, and let us speak from our heart into their heart with sincerity. May you be at ease in your body, feeling the ground beneath you. May you be attentive and gentle toward your own discomfort and suffering. May you experience joy and well-being. May you receive yourself with compassion and understanding. May you move towards others freely and with openness. Now let us bring all species, all beings into our heartfelt prayer. May all beings be at ease in their body, feeling the ground beneath their feet, the water of life surrounding them, the air beneath their wings. May all beings experience joy and well-being. May all beings be well, loving, and peaceful. And now a poem by Cynthia West, titled My River Stone. Simplicity rests immobile under my river stone, even as storms hurl flotsam downstream. This is my spot. No matter the change-roaring days, no matter my need to be known, to be heard, to be seen. Currents have rounded my shoulders, allowing smooth passage for wind-blown reflections and tumbling leaves. Ice has melted from my back until there is no more time to spend. When peaches ripen and grapes fall to birds, muddy water turns clear. My thousand fluid eyes lose count of clouds racing past branches overhead. My ears listen to ripple rush as it disappears, weaving around stones until my bell rings true, in tune with water rhythms. Seeing is different when my river stone is peace. Longing for nothing opens doors in every leaf to voice what they have been telling all along. In the clear air, colored songs without sound lie furled, ready for my breath to awaken their flight toward what is yet to come. In stillness, every tree is an open door calling my small voice to dance green inside the place between light and shade, to be the stopped spot from which movement flows.